All right, what's up, everybody? Steven here, the Horror Freak 85, here with Miss Boomstick. And just a couple minutes, or right about now, actually, here they come. I was like,
Hey,
how you doing?
how's it going, guys? You all right?
Yeah, I was just introducing. I'm like, well, in the here they are. So popped up just on time there. All right, we got Stewart and Lyndsey. How are you doing today?
Really good, thank you. Sorry, I've just realised I had it open in. I had the YouTube link open in another tab, so it was like echoing on itself. But that's all gone now. Yeah, we're really good, thank you. How are you both?
Oh, good. Just been keeping busy and work, the show, the usual, same old stuff. So
Nice.
yep.
And thank you again for coming on a little bit early, because I'm sorry my dog had a vet appointment today. So.
That's fine. Don't worry about it at all. It's a pleasure to be asked to come on, guys. It's always fun to chat.
Yes, it is. So yeah, now we got How to Kill Monsters coming up. So what would you like to tell us about that? I know the Kickstarter had ended like last Wednesday or whatever it ended. But yeah, but I saw that you made past your goal, so that's great.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was stressful to begin with.
Yeah.
I think as any crowdfunder is, but yeah, thankfully, just amazing people who want to support the film, and yeah, it finished I think we hit 125% of our target in the end, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So that lets us finish the film off. So we just to kind of give a backstory, we shot the first block of filming back in July, August. Shot a big chunk of the film then. And then this money is going to go towards the second block of shooting, which is going to be hopefully towards the end of this month and November, with some really cool like location shoots with police cars and a cabin in the woods. And yeah, lots of exciting stuff that I don't want to spoil the film, obviously. But
right.
Yeah, it lets us do all the really cool things we want to do with it. But everything so far on the film that we've shot is looking incredible. Lyndsey's amazing. She plays a very, very cool character that has many, many layers that are revealed over the course of the film, and she's fantastic in it. So I'm thrilled. I can't wait to see it.
And since it's being filmed, I guess, like you said last time when you were filming Book of Monsters, like when you did the different scenes, like, oh, where's that blood splatter? We got to make it look right.
Yeah, you had that all over again, didn't you?
Yeah. The blood was intense. There was a lot of blood. So yeah, be prepared for just all the blood you can imagine.
It makes Book of Monsters look like a kid's film.
Yeah.
It really is gory, and there's a lot of effects. A lot of bodies being ripped apart and torn apart and eaten, and a lot of blood. A lot of blood this time. That's mostly on her.
Yeah.
More gore. Double gore this time. Yeah, I saw the trailer for the Kickstarter, like what was shown, and I noticed the same police officers from the first one, I guess, are going to have a role in it.
Yeah, definitely. You got to bring these people back, people you like working with. So it's fun to have like little connections to Book of Monsters, even though it's not really like a hello, even though it's not really like a sequel or anything. It's still kind of we like to imagine it's set in the same universe. So like that's just a fun thing. So there's two cops who were in Book of Monsters who kind of show up in this one, which is a fun link. But we kind of think of it like an American Horror Story. This is like season 2 for us. So same actors, but they get to play like completely different roles. So like Aaron Dennis is back. He played Carl the Strippogram in Book of Monsters. He's got such a completely different role this time. Daniel Thrace is back. He played Gary, who was a really shy guy. I'm Gary in Book of Monsters, and now he's he's like the cockiest, biggest asshole character you could meet. But he has his own like journey throughout the film, and he becomes a bit of a hero. And some great people to come back. Nicholas Vince as well from Hellraiser came back.
Oh, nice.
And I always say to Nick, like, I want to give you what's another crazy character you can play that's the opposite of what you were known for. So he plays a thug called Tinny G, who is locked up in the police station for a crime we don't know, but he's a very dangerous guy, and these guys have to decide whether
Jaywalker, right? He looks like that would be weird. Jaywalking. Yes.
Oh, pardon me.
Oh, you're fine.
So yeah,
The one thing I loved about the trailer is like how like silly funny it is. Is like that's like right up my alley. I love the comedy aspect of it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we when we made Book of Monsters, we kind of didn't commit to the comedy enough. It was like a silly film, but we didn't really go, okay, it's a comedy. We still went in trying to make a horror movie, and I think that was a mistake. So this time we were like, okay, it is a comedy and a horror movie. Let's have a lot of fun with it. And we really looked at Sam Raimi's Evil Dead 2 for that, and Army of Darkness as well. Like that film is scary and silly at the same time. And that's kind of what we wanted to go for. And Edgar Wright's work as well with Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead, like they are so funny, but you still get really involved in the characters and you still care about them. And I think that's the balance really with horror comedy is you don't want to make it too silly that you don't care if the protagonists live or die, but you want it to be fun enough that people are still entertained all the way through. And they know, okay, I'm just here along for the ride. And hopefully that's a balance we've hit this time. And the Kickstarter trailer we shot that back in April. So that was like a trial run for the film. So we kept the cabin set up and we reused it for the actual movie. But what was really fun is we got to look at what we'd filmed and go, how do we make this better? So like, I feel like what we've actually shot for the movie, the kind of the cabin in the movie, we've revisited it a few times in flashbacks as a bit of a joke, because the idea is it's supposed to be this horror movie, this cliche horror movie at a cabin in the woods that didn't really, like, we don't really see that. It's kind of just all told through flashbacks of the police station. But when we watched the Kickstarter trailer, I was like, we need more blood when we do the actual film. So when we shot the actual cabin scenes for the film in August, we had like 4 times the amount of blood pouring on poor Lyndsey when she sat on the pentagram. It was so much fun.
For you.
Yeah, it's fun for me. It wasn't fun for her. It was fun for the people with like 4 buckets, just like throwing them at her.
Just your everyday bloodbath, it's good.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and that was always doing that shot was always 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So we had like the entire day to just be covered in that amount of blood. So that was always a joy.
Kind of like Carrie in the pig's blood, right?
Literally, yeah.
It's just every day for you.
Yeah, I think I spent about 3 days on set without blood on.
Yeah, that was it.
Gosh.
Yeah, like it was. Yeah, that's probably about right. It was probably about 3 days, and the rest of the time.
And you've got way more to go, so
yeah,
you've got lots more blood to go now.
And I've just got so many pictures on my phone to help with continuity to make sure that I put the blood. Like, well, I may as well just pour it all over my face with the amount that I have on me.
It's like cover it up and then just put like little finger tribes striking.
Yeah.
War blood. Let's kill these fuckers. Come on.
Yeah.
That would be a funny thing for a movie. Somebody be all covered in blood. You just wipe off like just a little bit just for war stripes. That would be a nice comedy bit.
I've got to put that in the next film. I'm putting in the next film. That is a great idea. But it's been good because we really wanted to, with the Kickstarter this time, like involve everybody in the behind the scenes. So from the stuff we've already shot, we've got like behind the scenes. We had like behind the scenes rolling constantly. Mm-hmm. We've got so many like behind the scenes photos and video. So now the campaign's ended, I'm going to set up like we've got like a private Facebook and a Discord for the backers that I'm going to invite all the backers to, and we're going to kind of have as often as we can. I mean, we pretty much film behind the scenes every day, but it might be, an odd day off, but we're going to kind of go, hey, here's what's happened on day 1 and day 2. And obviously when we catch up with the second block of filming, that's almost going to be like as live, like, hey guys, here's what we're doing today or tomorrow. So that all the backers get to kind of be on set with us. The challenge though is I don't want to spoil everything. No. So
right.
We're probably going to try and like pixelate some spoilers in the behind the scenes. So
certain days, like, let's see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe just what the costume looks like. There we go. That's it.
Yeah.
This is me getting ready to film. You'll have to see.
Well, that's like, you don't want to spoil who dies.
Exactly. It's kind of a challenge. Like, you do want to share it, but you don't want to spoil it. So it's probably a challenge to pick and choose what to share.
So that's a big experiment for us.
Yeah.
But Lyndsey's actually editing a lot of the behind the scenes little updates that you'll see, which is good. So it's fun because she's got a unique perspective on the whole thing.
Yeah.
And she's kind of having like these flashbacks where she's reliving all the bloody moments. It's like, oh no, it's that bit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the Blu-ray too will have like behind the scenes stuff, right?
Yeah, the Blu-ray is going to have like the plan is we've got Teresa, who was doing behind the scenes, directing the behind the scenes on set. She's going to cut together like a feature-length documentary as well. So that will be on the Blu-ray. And as I'm editing the footage we filmed so far, there's going to be a long gag reel on the Blu-ray as well.
Those are the best. Got to have those on there.
Yeah, exactly.
As funny as I saw the trailer was, I can only imagine what the gag reel would be.
Oh my god, it is so good because like even in the trailer, all those little gags where he kind of looks up and goes "fuck off," stuff like that. We did like 10 different takes of that, of different pitches and things like that.
Fuck off.
Yeah, he's like, "Fuck off." It's like, what? So we've got so many takes of that. And like Lyndsey's reaction, and like you can just hear me behind the camera laughing and like crying with laughter. It was great fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I got the t-shirt bundle one, so
thank you so much, man. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, since like I said, I missed out on the Book of Monsters. Wasn't missing this time. Definitely getting it.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
thank you. That's great.
You're welcome. And then the game too, like a little bit of coming out for the download, or how is that working again?
Yeah, so the guys are kind of wrapping up at the moment. So it's funny because Adam and Matt, who are the guys over at Close Forum, are some developers who they've been making games locally for a while, and they've done some really cool stuff in the UK with like live events with like arcade cabinets and things. And we met them, started chatting over a year ago, and we were like, hey, would you guys want to make a game for our new film coming out, How to Kill Monsters? And they were really excited. So they said, oh, what we'll do is we'll make a really small demo so that you can give that out for free to the Kickstarter backers as like a little teaser. And then they ended up making like an hour-long prologue that's basically its own little game. So what's happened is, because they had so much fun making it, they were like, oh my god, there's like puzzle rooms, there's like different boss fights that are all the boss fights in it are themed after different video game styles. So there's like a Pokemon style boss fight where you've got to like queue attacks up. There's a kind of a Sonic or Super Mario style side scrolling running away from a giant boss. And then the rest is kind of your top down, almost like Zelda, where you've got.
I was gonna say it kind of looked like Zelda when I saw it.
Yeah. So it was really fun, like working with them on that. And the idea is that they're kind of wrapping up this 1 hour prologue that's gonna be a digital download to all the backers. So no matter how much money you put in, everyone's gonna get a download of that. And what we want to do is kind of gather everyone's feedback so that all that feedback can go towards the main game, which they've started development on already. And it's kind of fun. So the prologue we're calling Cabin Massacre, because it all takes place at the cabin, much like the Kickstarter did. And it's about Lyndsey's character, Jamie, telling the police in the police interview what happened, and then you get to decide what actually happened in the game. And then the full video game, which will be coming out alongside the movie, is called How to Kill Monsters, Monsters Incarcerated, which is all set at the police station. And that's going to be a much bigger game with multiple playable characters. And yeah, it's been so much fun because it's the first time we've ever done a game and a movie. And I hope that when people play the game and watch the film, they'll learn a bit more. We're going to hide lots of Easter eggs in the game and in the movie for the game. And
Right.
it's been really fun to do. Really fun.
Is the game going to be like on Steam, or is it going to be like somewhere else, like the one that it's not the Kickstarter, but the other game?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I think itch.io is like a popular indie website which we can self-publish to quite easily. Steam's a bit harder, so we're still trying to work that out. But ideally, as wide a release as possible. Obviously, it's for Kickstarter backers first, and then we'll hopefully, when we go to kind of look at the distribution for the film, maybe the game can come alongside that on a platform. Because I mean, it would be amazing if one day it ended up on like PlayStation, Xbox on the store and things like that. That would be great.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, but this is all part of the kind of our goals for this project, because we're not really. it's weird because I keep calling it the movie, but it's a project. There's a comic, a game, a movie, and hopefully we keep expanding the universe with other fun things. So this is really the
series,
first time.
maybe?
Hey, that'd be amazing. An animated series as well would be really cool. How to Kill Monsters, each episode about killing a different monster. That would be really cool. So yeah, this is
police station, firehouse, hospital, whatever, wherever you want, schools.
Exactly. There's the possibilities are limitless now.
I'll send you over a demo script. Let me know what you think. You can find an artist.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see what else. You got anything, Boone?
I know. I quit getting notifications, so I don't know. Were you guys still playing on Twitch?
We had to stop because we were making the film.
Okay.
So yeah,
That's
the idea
probably
is,
why I stopped getting notifications.
yeah. A lot of people have been asking because we hate to kind of like start something and then stop it, but making the movie, like starting the pre-production, then the initial shoot, it just took all our time, didn't it?
Yeah.
So, but you're really keen to get back on it.
Yeah, we will be back streaming again.
Are you going to be playing your game?
100%.
Yeah,
Nice.
weird, but we will.
I think that'd be a nice kind of first day back is to play the game.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah.
But the fun
this
is
isn't the decision I made in the movie, but let's see what happens. Like, because I guess you said like different decisions on the game or multiple outcomes. You said.
Well, this is the thing, you get to play as you.
Yeah,
so.
which would be really weird.
That'd be really fun.
That's me. But yeah, we are keen to get back streaming again. But yeah, as Stuart said, it's just the hours that we were putting in for the film. They just meant that we just didn't have the time to stream. So we have taken a longer break than thought. But we are going to get back to it very soon. So really good.
It's very understandable. I just wasn't sure because I hardly ever get on Twitch, so I don't know if it just kicked me off. I didn't know what happened.
I know also, Lyndsey, what was it? Eating Miss Killing Miss Campbell, or which is
Eating Miss Campbell, yeah.
It is eating. Okay, I'm thinking of teaching Mrs. Tingle. I'm like combining movies, but yeah. So was that recently released at film festival, or that's coming out, or what's the deal with that one?
Yeah, so it's on the festival run at the moment. So it premiered at Fright Fest in August, and yeah, it's just kind of doing the rounds now. So it's going to be playing in quite a lot of countries, which is great. Yeah. So it's played in a few places in the UK. It was in Barcelona recently, Poland, and then I think they announced today it's going over to South Africa. So it's and Beijing as well, I think, which is so cool. Oh, wow. I'm sure that more festivals will be announced by Liam Regan, who's the director. But no, it seems to be doing really well. It's a crazy film, really crazy. But yeah, it went down really well at Fright Fest. Everyone seemed to really enjoy it, which was great. So yeah, another very, very gory film, but in a very different way to How to Kill Monsters. There's no monsters in Eat Miss Campbell, but it's equally as gory.
I saw like the trailer for it. What was something like they're like suicidal at the school or trying to get someone to kill themselves, or what was it? What was it?
So there's like an all-you-can-eat massacre, it's called, where you can win a gun, and my character Beth is trying to get out of she's stuck in a horror movie, so it's very self-aware. So she talks to the camera, she breaks the fourth wall, and she's trying to get out of this horror movie, and no matter what she does, she just can't escape it. And then this opportunity comes up that she can win a gun, and she thinks, well, if she can win this gun, she could kill herself and get out of the film. So it's it's very unique movie, definitely.
Yeah, but it's very funny. Like the cast are fantastic. Like you worked with Lawrence Harvey from Human Centipede 2, who is hilarious in the film.
Yes.
And if you've ever seen Liam Regan's previous film, My Bloody Banjo, which is fantastic, I really recommend it. I think he's finally got the rights back after so many years. Apparently he sold it to someone who just didn't do anything with it. He got the rights back, and now he's releasing it on Blu-ray himself. So I think you can get like the Blu-ray Collector's Edition, signed and numbered and everything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fantastic. And he made it because Liam worked with Lloyd Kaufman at Troma for like years and years. So this is officially a Troma movie as well. And I think having seen it many times at film festivals now with Lyndsey, obviously supporting Lyndsey. It is one of the best looking trauma films and one of the best trauma films I've seen, I would say. I'd really recommend it. It's hilarious. Really good fun.
Yeah, Michaela as well. Michaela Longdon, she's in it, who was in Book of Monsters. She played Mona, Book of Monsters. And she's also in How to Kill Monsters. So it's been fun working with her a lot. But yeah, so no, I'm really pleased for Liam. Like, it's doing really well. And as Stuart said, it's been his dream to make a trauma movie. So the fact that this is actually now an official trauma movie is great. So.
Okay. And you said that other movie.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say My Bloody Banjo. You said it was called.
That's the one. Yeah, My Bloody Banjo. Yeah,
I'm gonna look
really
that up later.
Worth checking out. It's absolutely zany, very gory, but such a fun ride. Great story, great acting, really fun characters as well.
All right, I'll look that up for sure in a little bit. So.
Nice.
Did you get a Lloyd Kaufman cameo in yours?
He does have a cameo, yeah.
Nice.
It's like a mandatory thing, isn't it? You gotta.
He's like the Stan Lee of trauma.
Yeah, exactly.
He did it before Stan Lee's.
Yeah, he did.
It's like the mystery, just random person that shows up in every scene. Hey.
Yeah, he's just there. He's always some wacky doctor or like the mayor or something. He's just there.
Exactly. Or a worker or like whatever, just a random person. What was it in a Poultrygeist? Did you see that one?
Yeah, that's fantastic. That film, so funny.
Yeah, so like what was he was like one of them when they were singing that song in the one scene and he was one of the workers. I don't know if you remember or not.
God, I can't remember. I can't remember that bit. I just remember the scene at the fast food restaurant where they're just like dunking people's heads into deep fat fryers and things. It's brilliant.
Yes. Let's see what else. Who else is in it that you can tell us, or what other stuff about How to Kill Monsters?
So yeah, it's got a really, really big cast.
Yeah, it's massive.
Really big cast, and they're all absolutely fantastic. It was a genuine joy to work on the film. It was just fun every day. It was just so much fun. Like, even though you are getting covered in blood, you're okay with it because you're having a really good time. And yeah, just everyone was just laughing constantly, and it's really great looking at the behind the scenes because you can see that through that as well, and you just remember how much fun everyone was having. And you can probably get away with pouring more blood on people because they're in such a good mood. So because everyone's having so much fun, you get an opportunity to be like, we're just gonna shoot a bit more blood, just gonna shoot another blood cannon at you.
But we worked with it. It was a good opportunity this time. We worked with so many new actors we'd never worked with before. So like a lot of people came back from Book of Monsters, but then we worked with a lot of new people as well, who just got into the roles and knew exactly the type of movie we were making. I think you spoke to Aviana. So she's joining us for it. And then we have people like Rebecca Claire Evans, who plays a character called Big Jenny, who is like mother hen of the jail cells at the police station, who has a really fun scenes with you. And yeah, it's great. Like, and it feels almost like two movies in a way, because you have the scene set at the cabin, which is like this movie that happened almost like before this movie. It's almost like How to Kill Monsters is a sequel to a film you never see, but it's like a cliche movie, so you know what happened at the cabin in the woods. Everyone does. Right. But whenever we flash back to that, you've got all these different characters that Lyndsey's with, who are like in this kind of Halloween party that goes wrong because they want to summon a monster. That age-old tale. And then you get to the police station and you've got just this crazy Hot Fuzz style Army of Darkness madness that's going on. So I think there's a lot in the movie for people to enjoy, depending on what type of films they like, because we kind of dip our toes into different little subgenres of horror along the way. So I hope people really enjoy it.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like my type. That's one thing I fell in love with the Evil Dead series, hence why I picked my name, but because the nice comedy aspect, plus it's still a horror film, but I like the comedy horror genre. That's usually what I stick with.
Yeah, it's the most entertaining. I feel like you can put it on whenever, no matter what mood you're in, and you can just like enjoy no matter what. And yeah, it just allows you to have so much more fun as a filmmaker and actors as well. Like you just have a great time. You don't have to go to all these dark places. You're just like, okay, today I'm fighting some puppets who are trying to eat the cables of the computers, and we're going to hit them with axes, and there's blood going to fly in my face. That's what's happening.
When you were on last time, and you had mentioned like for this Kickstarter, I didn't see it on there. I was kind of looking forward to it. You had mentioned like maybe vote on the weapons, but I didn't see anything this time. But can you tell us about any weapons that are involved in it?
Yeah, well, you got to use some, didn't you?
Yeah, so the chainsaw is back. Obviously. So yeah, we do. There is a lot of chains. There's quite a few weapons actually.
Yeah, we will. We kind of play a gag because in the UK the police don't really carry guns. So unless they're like armed forces, special police. But I feel like guns are really cheating in movies a lot of the time because they're quite overpowered. And it's not really that fun at the end of the day if people are just stood there unloading bullets into something. You want them to be like hitting it and stabbing it and being pulled apart by it. So we went for the chainsaw again, which made sense for the Cabin in the Woods kind of origin story for her character. Because it's Evil Dead, isn't it? And we were just like, okay, we have to homage that. And then we had a really cool weapon custom built by a really talented prop maker called Gary Allen called the Eldritch Blade, which you'll have seen in some of the promotional images and stuff. It's kind of like this Lovecraftian little squid creature that's been desiccated and turned into a retractable sword. So everyone was kind of carrying it around like a lightsaber on set because it has like a lightsaber style hilt, but it's actually got a combination lock on it so that you can set a combination that extends the blade out. So that was really fun. Yeah. And that's kind of like our big weapon MacGuffin of the movie that everyone's trying to get because it's this thing that can kill monsters and it's really cool. So that was really fun. And then we also have a lot of like medieval weapons and a suit of armor as well, because we kind of had a gag that a Renaissance fair took things a bit too seriously and they had all the weapons confiscated. So in the evidence room of the police station are like all these medieval like battle axes and swords that the characters run around with. Because we just thought that's just a fun thing to have, like a modern day police station with people running around with like armor and swords and things. So that again, that was really just us wanting to do a bit of Army of Darkness. So there's
Is there a jousting pole?
Yeah, I wish we should have had that. But those were very kindly loaned to us by one of the actors, Lil Moffat, who's in the movie. She plays Daphne, who's the one dressed as the mummy at the cabin. So she does a lot of LARPing. So she was like, do you guys want to borrow this stuff? And I was like, yes. So we got some really cool weapons and armor in there in the movie, which the actors would not put down, and they were just constantly fighting in the corridors. And I was like, stop breaking the props. Stop it. Like, do not touch that stuff. So that was fun, trying to stop them from hitting each other with them all the time.
We're acting, not LARPing. Come on.
Exactly.
They're to kill monsters, not each other.
Well, we had Fen, who's one of the she plays Blair in the movie, and she's a bride on her bachelorette party who's been arrested along with her whole hen party that night, which is, I always wanted to do that because it's just such a fun scenario to have like a whole bachelorette party like in a police station with monsters, and they all hate each other and they're all really bitchy with each other. And she has like loads of martial arts experience. So she was just there, like swinging like two swords over her back and like doing all these crazy things.
So
and
cool.
We were just like, what?
Yeah. So cool.
So we made sure to write some of that into the movie.
I was about to say, I hope that's in the movie. You
Yeah.
just see like this prim and proper like bride, and next thing she's just like,
Yeah, we
Whipping out
totally went
swords,
for that.
decapitating monsters. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, we gave her a very cool kind of like warhammer in the end that she could just swing around. So she does some cool stuff with that, and we did some really cool kind of stunt kind of fight sequences in the movie as well. Some really fun like hand-to-hand fighting. Yeah, there's a lot. We just went all out on this one.
Well, it'd be funny if you had like a drunk person. You said she has a hammer. If you, like as like a joke, you had someone off to the side who was dressed up as Thor. He's like, "Give me my hammer." Get the hammer. He's drunk.
Do an MCU crossover.
Exactly. And then do a multiverse one too. You got the cops, kind of like Sliders. You got your doppelgangers in a different world. It works.
Exactly. We could do that.
The bride, did you give her any kind of like bridezilla traits? Like have her like freak out about like wedding stuff or something?
We actually we tried to make her character much more sympathetic because there's always a risk when you kind of have a character like that the audience will hate them. So like actually she's more sympathetic. It's the bridesmaids who are horrible to her, and they're almost like your sub antagonists in the movie. So Michaela and Luella play two characters called Chelsea and Crystal, who are like this kind of annoying duo who are really mean, and they want to make the whole night about them. And they're the reason they got thrown in the police station jail. So they're kind of like there the whole time, and they hate your character, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
So that's really fun.
Yeah,
kind of seeing the kind of different friendship groups and alliances form in the police station once all the stuff kicks off. Because we have, it's a big cast, and there's a lot of kind of prisoners in the jail and police characters as well, who all kind of have to. Sorry,
June as well, who's like opposite of.
Yeah, really amazing actress called June, who plays a character called Ruth, who's like a really quiet one who came to the bachelorette party, who she didn't get the memo that they were all going as sexy witches, and she goes as like a little witch with a giant hat.
She's so cute.
So she's there as well, and she's just like totally out of her element. So really fun characters to play around with, and all the cast were just fantastic with them all. Had a great time.
Yeah, we didn't realize how big the cast was until we kind of.
Everyone got in the jail cells, and we locked the doors, and you couldn't really move. There's just so many people.
Yeah, bringing in Andrina and Andy, like there was so many scenes to the film with this. I don't know. I'm so excited for everyone to see it. I really am.
I'm sure different like cells and setups for the different type of prisoners, like for Nick and the bachelors. And
Nick Vince gets his own little cell because he's a dangerous guy.
You get like a Hannibal Lecter mask maybe too on him or something.
I wish we've got some shots where he's pretty much Hannibal Lecter, just stood there, and they're all kind of looking at him, and he's just there in the shadows the whole time. It's great.
I can't wait to see that character. He's hilarious.
He's one of my favorites. He's very funny.
This sounds amazing. This movie sounds more amazing the more we hear about it.
Good.
It's like Book of Monsters. What now? This sounds so much better.
I think that's the hope, is that we Book of Monsters we made that 5 years ago, which is mad when you think about it, because I think the whole COVID pandemic made everything it went by so quickly in a way that feels like yesterday we made the movie, but it was a long time ago. So we've had a long time to think about how can we make a better film, and what can we do to make it bigger? What have we always wanted to do? Mm-hmm. So this was our chance to put everything into this one, to really make this kind of a standout movie that we hope horror fans will like. Because it was made for horror fans. It's not, it's an interesting world we live in at the moment where, a lot of films are made, and quite rightly so, about important issues or to make political statements. We just want to make a film that you can sit down, eat some popcorn, have a hell of a good time, switch your brain off, and just be entertained with your friends. That's all this movie is.
Not everybody wants that. See that all the time. Sometimes people just want to shut their mind off. And just
like that's what movies are supposed to be for,
right?
Yeah, and we made it. We made a conscious effort this time because Book of Monsters, we very much kind of visually shot it for home, for imagining people watching it on Blu-ray. This one is, super widescreen, really cinematic. Hamish, who's our director of photography, went all out on this. It looks amazing. It looks so high, like the film, visually looks so much higher than the budget of the movie. And I feel like, we've made something really special. So I'm having a great time editing it. I'm telling you, so far I'm just laughing my ass off all the time, and I'm really getting into it. So that's a whole fun process, the editing process. I'm just kind of sat here most evenings till 2 a.m. trying to get scenes together and things. And I'm excited to shoot the rest of it now because because obviously we've only shot a chunk of it. So I've got just scenes where a title card comes up and it goes, exterior, cabin, this happens. And I'm like, okay, we need to film this now.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to kind of shoot those and slot them into place. And we've got some really fun, gory stuff to film coming up, which is going to be a lot of fun. Like one of the scenes we've got to shoot, which is going to be possible now because of the Kickstarter, is going to be so gruesome, and people are going to be cringing in the cinema at how horrible it is. I can't wait.
Even more blood for Lyndsey to look for.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, make people want to walk out, but in a good way.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to Terrify 2 level here. That was extreme, but we're still, I think there's a balance to be had, and I think we can still make people squirm in their seats without needing a sick bag.
That's why you said that, because I was joking around. Like Terrifier 2, I heard some people were actually walking out or so disgusted, getting sick. In the theater.
We went to one of the UK screenings, and they were giving out sick bags with Art the Clown on. It was great.
Was it that? I haven't seen it yet. I want to. There's not like any theaters near me that's playing it. I'm like, I want to see it.
Yeah, it's worth checking out. It's very gory.
Very gory.
But like the gore keeps going for there's like a 5-minute long scene of just a woman being brutally killed by him that just keeps going, and you're like, oh my god,
when is this gonna stop?
Well, that's what I heard. Like, it's worse than the first one when she sawed in half, and I'm like, what's gonna be worse than sawed in half like that?
Oh, it's way
worse.
Way worse in the gore department. But the special effects are amazing.
Yeah, they are.
Really, really realistic, and like you're like,
But
oh
you
my
are
god.
sat there like.
I saw a review on TikTok briefly, and it's like, I'm seeing Terrifier, and then that's the look you had, like, just saw Terrifier 2. Like,
You're literally just like,
yeah.
What did I watch? It's like, if you don't like gore, don't go see it.
I mean, I'm so thrilled that they got like quite a wide release through Bloody Disgusting and Screenbox, because I bet so many people who like a casual cinema goers are like, oh, there's a horror movie out, should we go see it? Not knowing what they're getting into at all. And then just going, oh my God. Because it is very much made for horror fans. Like, it's so specifically made for people who love horror movies. I don't think there's a crossover on Terrified 3 for like the average person at all.
Yeah. It's like when the credits start rolling, you just slowly look at each other like,
oh my God, what have we watched?
I saw that, I don't know if you heard, David Howard Thornton, he's going to play the Grinch, and they're doing a horror movie of, like, the Grinch is called The Mean One. And he's going to be...
I've seen that, but I didn't realize that he was going to be the one that was going to be the Grinch.
That's going to be David Howard Thornton. Yeah, it said he'll be playing The Mean One.
That'll be fun. That'll be another Christmas movie to add to the roster alongside Krampus.
Yeah. Right. Have you seen, I've been seeing a lot of people talk about this one. I don't remember the name of it, but it has the dude from Stranger Things. The cop.
Violent Night or whatever.
Yes,
like a
David Harbour, yeah.
Right, he plays Santa Claus, and it's like what I've been hearing about is basically Santa Claus in a Die Hard like type movie.
There's like these robbers or something, and they don't believe in the real Santa, but he's protecting them, and he's like killing the naughty people and stuff. Yeah.
What I've heard of it sounds amazing.
There is a trailer for it that you can find. So.
Yeah, I haven't got to see it yet, but yeah.
Yeah, that's one to check out, definitely. I think my favorite Christmas-based horror movie is still Gremlins, though. It's great. Yeah. Love it so much.
I like Santa's Sleigh with Bill Goldberg.
Yeah.
I like the goofy ones.
The goofy ones are often the best ones.
Right, especially the beginning scene with the whole family, Chris Kattan and the nanny and all. I can't remember the rest of them's names, but they're all sitting there and they just like bust through
down the chimney and just kills them, slaughters them all at the table.
Yeah.
I know I had a chance to meet Chris Kattan, and I completely forgot he was in the movie. I didn't get to ask him about it at all, and I regret it now.
It's always, oh man, that sucks.
I don't think he's done any other really horror movie besides horror.
No, he's living in Central Illinois, not too far away from my hometown now.
Maybe we'll run into him at the store. Hey, I got this Christmas.
And one of the times I go down to visit mom and dad, you never know.
just keep that Santa sleigh question ready to go.
It's like, good. Don't forget.
Hey, from this, now he's moved there. Maybe If I did run into him, I'd get him on here. I doubt it, but never know.
You never know.
I was going to ask you also, you said you had started editing some of the stuff. How is it when you do that process? Obviously, you're going to cut some stuff out. How hard is it for you to decide what you want to keep in?
It's really hard, actually, and I'll get Lyndsey up to watch bits, and I'm like, what do you think? And sometimes you remember being on set, spending hours shooting something, and then you get to the edit, and unfortunately, sometimes it just slows the pace down too much because you want it to be snappy and to move, at a pace that feels right. And there's even some jokes that I thought would be really good and fun, but they just slow it down. So there's the odd thing that you just got to take out. But then sometimes there's moments. The worst part is when there's a moment you wish you'd got that you didn't, or you didn't get enough of, because you realize it's actually funnier than you thought it was, and you're like, So there was a whole example where Lyndsey's character Jamie, when she's first arrested and put in the police station in the interview room, which is very similar to the Kickstarter trailer, where the cops kind of going, okay, tell me what happened at the cabin. There was a really awkward moment that I accidentally made through editing, where she sits down and just looks up, and the cops just staring at her, and she's just staring back like, what's going on? And there's like a really uncomfortable silence, and I kind of just made that out of random little shots that went on slightly too long. So that was really fun, because that was like, I've made like another little moment that's funny out of nothing, because it wasn't ever planned.
Yeah.
So it always kind of pays to shoot more than you need, because you never know, you can use little bits from a scene later in the movie earlier on, because they kind of work. But that's all down to having a great cast as well, because the cast were quite naturally funny, and the expressions on the face, you want to hold on to them as much as possible. So yeah, that was fun, but it is hard. You do have to, they call it killing your babies. You always got to, that's the hardest thing. It's like, I don't want to lose this, but that's the challenge of every independent filmmaker. You don't want to lose anything, but if we cut anything out, it'll go on the deleted scene, so people still get to see it, which is great. And I think what I'm keen to do for the Kickstarter as well, if I'm really struggling with like a take of a joke, I'm hopefully I'm going to do this.
Go for the joke. There you go.
But it's like, okay, which take shall I use? Which joke shall I use? Because a lot of the time we had a lot of improv where they did a different joke. So I might do a little edit and go, okay, Kickstarter backers, which one's funniest? Like, tell me which one I should put in the movie. It's the ultimate market research. It's like, okay, these are the people who are paying for this movie. What do you want to see? Like, and I think that's kind of, we talked about kind of the voting aspect from Book of Monsters. Unfortunately, due to timing, it didn't really work out that we could do it on this one, because we had to start filming earlier. But we can kind of do it in post-production and let people kind of choose little different how I'm editing the movie, which should be quite fun. But going back to the voting, we are going to do it on the video game. So we're going to kind of go, okay, which weapon do you want to start the game with? What are the unlockable characters? What are the kind of secret things you want to find? So we're going to still get to do a lot of that, which should be really fun to just get everyone involved a bit more, because I think things are a lot more fun when you get the audience involved in them, because then when the audience watches it, they're like, I chose that, I voted on that, I did that, I did this bit. And I think that's what we want to do. It's we kind of want to make community-based horror, which I think is the coolest thing you can do, because it's like, let's involve everyone in making the product, so that you're not just buying something, you're buying an experience. Because we never want to treat things like they are just things on the shelf. Like, these are things to be enjoyed and made together. So I think that's, if we can bring any of the fun we're having making the movie, the people watching it, that's even better. Yeah.
Nice. Almost like an interactive horror movie.
I mean, that's something we've been talking about that recently. We really want to make one very soon, actually, because I think we see a lot of amazing like interactive games on Steam where it's like full motion video games, which they used to make back in the 90s, and it kind of died out, and now it's coming back again. I'd love to make an interactive video game, interactive movie where, Lyndsey's running around and you get to choose, does she go left or right? Which weapon does she pick up? How does she attack the monster? I think we can have a lot of fun with that. And that's definitely something we want to do as well. That'd be the ultimate interactive movie.
Well, was it Black Mirror? I think they did an episode on Netflix where you could choose
Yeah.
And like, what do you want to do on that? So
it's funny that, because I thought that was brilliant, but apparently Charlie Brooker, who made it, said it was such a stressful time to make because they had to film so much stuff.
Right.
And
so you got to film all the alternate choices too.
Yeah, like you got to shoot the same thing over and over again with different lines of dialogue and stuff. And I think it would be a really fun challenge to see how you would do that with a movie, because you've only got so much money and budget to make it. And the main thing is just time, the time that you have on set, like to shoot. It's like, how many choices can you have? I don't know. So that's something fun that I'm really excited to kind of try and figure out.
Choose your choices wisely, I guess.
Well, yeah, I think it's making sure that the story always kind of loops back to a similar kind of scenes that you can always rely are going to happen. But it's stuff as simple as, like, if we had like Lyndsey choose, like, you can choose an axe, a chainsaw, or a sword. Whatever she chooses, we got to film her holding that for the whole thing. So right. It's like, you got to film everything again and again. So I'm like, okay, you got to make it a funny joke where she picks it up and it's immediately like eaten by a monster, and she's like, like, that's what you'd have to do.
Wrong choice. Yeah, you should have picked the chainsaw instead of that.
And then you pick the chainsaw and it gets eaten again. You're like, what?
What a ripoff! I get eaten no matter what I do.
Yeah, no matter what you do.
but it'll be a different monster though eating it. Each one, it won't be the same monster. So
yeah,
you made your choice. You get to see a different monster.
And I love that you guys are going with the practical effects as well.
Yeah, that was so important to us, because I hate to slag off low budget movies, because we make low budget movies, but
right, yeah,
when they do CGI and they don't have the money, you can tell. And I think unless they're making a horror comedy like us, it's all about, is it funny enough that the audience will get on board with it? Like, is it like Asylum bad? Like, where they know that the stuff looks terrible, but they're just like, this is, you're in for it. That's what you accept.
You know what you're getting into when you see an Asylum film, basically.
Yeah. But I think CGI, unless it's done well on a lower budget film, it just ruins it for me, at least. I just, you get taken out of it and you just remember, every time you see it, you remember you're watching a movie and you sat on your sofa. But the beauty of filmmaking is making it good enough that people just forget they're watching a movie and they're just in the moment. And I think practical effects is the biggest asset to that, because whilst your brain still knows that it's rubber and it's latex and it's a guy in a suit, because it's physically there, you accept that completely. And that's why Gremlins is fantastic. And that's why Evil Dead 2 is amazing, because it's there and the actors are punching it in the face and it's physically there. And I think it helps you as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. When you can see what you're up against, and it's not, okay, just imagine that this is here, or, follow the stick, or whichever, it's much better when you do have something to interact with. Because I think it helps make your performance more believable as well, because you know what you're up against, the size of it, the look of it, like, it does help a lot, definitely.
And we had like Lyndsey back in Book of Monsters, she has like a chainsaw fight and there's like tentacles attacking her. Those were actually attacking her, so she had to duck and hit them. And we do a lot of stuff in this one where there's a lot of slimy, gooey monsters, and there's some little gremlin type critters that people actually had to fight, and and that's so much fun. Like that, that wouldn't work with CGI, and again, people still do it with CGI, but you're just completely taken out from it. So
yeah,
I think we just looked at what movies do we love, what do we want to make. It has to be practical effects all the way, definitely.
Speaking along the lines of this, I gotta ask, I may have asked last time you guys were on, I don't remember, but have you seen bad CGI Sharks?
Oh no, and I think you did mention that last time. And
I love this movie and I talk about it all the time, but they make a movie where their bad CGI shark creations come to life and are attacking them in the real world.
But see, that's great, because they just acknowledge they're bad CGI sharks.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like, that's when like bad CGI is fine.
Yeah.
absolutely fine.
When
But-
it's in the
that's
title, then it's
understandable.
good.
I just that got in my head. I was like, I wonder if they've seen this movie. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to see it, it is freaking hilarious.
I
We need
still
to
haven't
watch
watched
that.
it myself. Yeah, I need to one of these days.
I love that movie. I own it on DVD. I've seen it I don't know how many times, but like when I first came across it, I just loved it. And then me and my son had watched it together, and usually getting him to watch a movie with me is like pulling teeth. And he enjoyed it as well. It's like I did a review on it. It was like I think one of my first reviews, I don't remember, but and we're just laughing during the whole thing. During me and my son, he's like off camera because he don't want to be on camera. He's like behind the camera, and I'm sitting there. We're just laughing about the whole movie, trying to talk about it.
Nice.
Like I can't talk. It's laughing so much.
Yeah, because like soon it was over. It's like at the time I was still filming on my phone. I didn't have any of my fancy equipment, and I just had my phone set up, and we're trying to talk about it, and we just couldn't stay straight face with this laugh.
We'll have to check that out.
Bad CGI Sharks.
Yeah, I love that movie. I'm always suggesting, but just it got in my head when I was talking about the bad CGI stuff. It's like they acknowledge the bad CGI and just like bring it into the real world.
Lyndsey, I wanted to ask you for the stunt work and fight scenes. Since you already did it in Book of Monsters, was there any more challenge to this one, or about the same?
Probably about the same. Maybe there was just more of it, which was great. And I think I got to work with a few different weapons as well, so that was a challenge. And kind of just remembering how to handle the chainsaw to make it look, you know, how you would realistically hold the chainsaw, and making it look heavy, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think it was a good challenge in terms of doing the physical side of it, because that's always a lot of fun. Is doing the stunt work and using the weapons and but yeah, I think there was just more of it in this movie, and I think it is much more of a physical role for me to play as well. And the locations that we had were much bigger as well, so you were able to move around a lot more than we had on Book of Monsters. So I think that was great as well. There's a lot more running around, which we didn't have as much of in Book of Monsters. So and obviously we've got a lot more to come as well, so I think that aspect's going to be in there as well in terms of using the weapons and things. So yeah, I think it was kind of on par, but in terms of what was needed, but just more of it.
You had a very physical role this time.
Very physical, yeah. In
a lot of running around on slippery blood.
We said it was like a workout video. Like it was every day I was just doing something different. I was either running down a corridor or like army crawling across the floor, or crawling around, or jumping down on the floor and jumping back up. So yeah, each day was like a new workout. But yeah, it was a lot more physical than my role in Book of Monsters, definitely. But I loved it. It was great because it just challenged me in different ways. And it's always good to be challenged in each film you do. So yeah, definitely. More of a challenge, but good.
I guess
you get to say you got fit by fighting monsters in real life.
Exactly, yeah.
I didn't get fit. I just stood behind the monitor eating crisps. So
I mean, yeah, I was going to do that. But how is this one, as a director's point of view, the challenge of this one? Directing on a bigger set and more monsters, and how is that?
Yeah, I mean, it was like all logistical challenges, really. So Book of Monsters, to put it in context, we had one studio, and we built the whole interior of the house in one studio, which wasn't very big. So to put that in context, the police prison cells studio is the same size that we built the whole house in Book of Monsters in. So, and we had 4 studios this time. So we had like a police prison cells, a forensics lab, the cabin in the woods, like a police office bullpen type thing. And then we've got loads of exterior stuff as well, where we've shot in like some old dilapidated like shower block. We've got upcoming, we've got like the exterior of the cabin in the woods, exterior of the police station stuff as well. it's crazy how big it was. So really, like, it's just been like more logistics in terms of we've got to get all the sets built. We've got to make sure that they're ready to shoot in on each day. So like on the first block, we went from the cabin to the cells to the lab and back, because when we'd finished in one, while we were shooting in the other, they'd be redressing it, putting more blood on it, changing it, and then we'd go back in. And yeah, it's just a big rush. So that's been it really. Just, and the cast size is huge, because on Book of Monsters, I think there was like 4 girls and Gary, really, who were there. And on this one, it's just like about 20 cast members all running around the police station, running through these amazing corridors. We shot in this like film school building that's got a double basement level with all this industrial like pipe work, which we use as the police station. So these guys are running down the corridors with the camera like chasing them like as if it's a big monster. And it's action packed. So Lyndsey got a big workout and I didn't, because I just ate a lot of food and got stressed out.
The thing, it was when we had to run as well. It wasn't, just do a little light jog. It was sprint down that corridor.
And the camera's on a trolley and we're all running down after the camera, like making sure that we don't run over the actors.
Let's see. My mom wanted to know, when did you start acting in these types of movies or directing also? And what was your favorite character that you portrayed?
So I've been acting for a few years. My first full feature film was Book of Monsters. I'd done a few short films with Stewart and some other people beforehand, but my first feature role was Book of Monsters.
No, it wasn't. You did The Creature Below.
I did the Creature. I did a role in The Creature Below. I'm in it for about 30 seconds. So I think my first full role is Book of Monsters. But yeah, I do appear for 30 seconds in Creature Below. So Book of Monsters, my first like leading role. And I've just kind of gone from there really, just over the past sort of 5 years, obviously minus the COVID years, unfortunately. Just been acting in various movies. What was the other question? Sorry, my favorite character. I think Jamie in this film is definitely one of my favorite characters, just because of the challenges, as we've said, and obviously I'm not giving any spoilers or anything like that, but obviously what she comes up against, and the monsters that she comes up against, the people that she encounters, like as he was just saying, with the amount of locations, the world just feels so big in this movie. And it was great to meet just the various characters in the film, because they're all just hilarious. And I think one of my other favorite characters, I can't say too much about the film, but I worked with a company called Relic Films UK back in June, and I really enjoyed the role I played in that film. But yeah, I think Jamie has to be up there as one of my favorites, just because she was just, I think, as I said, I think just because of the sheer amount of fun we had on set, it was just great fun bringing her to life and just seeing her in these ridiculous scenarios throughout the film with these insane characters. And just the journey she goes on. I'm excited to share that with everyone.
Nice.
And I guess for you, sir, when you started directing, and what got you into that, I guess?
I was probably really young. I think I was just like into movies in general. I think, like, as weird as it sounds, like Star Wars: The Phantom Menace as like a movie that I went, I would like to make films. And I don't know why it was The Phantom Menace, because it's like regarded as like the worst.
It was Jar Jar, right?
Yeah. But I think it's because around that time, like when the Star Wars prequels were coming out and Lord of the Rings was coming out, they had these amazing making of documentaries. So I think I'd watched one of those and I was like, like you can make these films. That's like a job. And then my parents got me like a DV tape camcorder. So I made all my friends go around the park and we like remade Jurassic Park. And then we also remade most of the Phantom Menace in my bedroom with a webcam with the film on VHS in the background. And we like mimed along to the movie in costumes. Thankfully, that's all been destroyed, that footage. I had little model start. I think I had like Micro Machines, Lego things like flying past the camera.
The Millennium Falcon and all that.
Yeah, it was like we just remade the movies, and then I think it came when we finished high school. I was just like, oh, maybe I should go to college and like study like film, and that's what I did. So I've just been doing that ever since, really.
That's actually where we met.
Yeah, we met at university.
Yeah.
So that's when we got together and we got married. Got married since. We've been together for like 10 years now. Yeah. So we've just been making stuff together ever since, which is great. And then, just love making films. So it's kind of snowball from there. Just you slowly try and do better and better each time. Started with short films, and then it wasn't until I met Paul Butler, who's my kind of like partner in crime. He writes a lot of the stuff with me, produces with me, and we kind of develop everything together. He's the other half of Dark Rift Horror, really. We met in 2012 when we made like a proof of concept trailer for a movie called Frostbite, which is like an Arctic fishing vessel that finds this Russian submarine that's been frozen since the Second World War. And there's a virus on board, and it was like super ambitious, and we had no money. So we made this like proof of concept trailer, which I think is on YouTube. It's like mostly green screen. And then we went, hey, should we make something we can actually film? So then we came up with The Creature Below as our first film, which was much more achievable, and then that kind of did well. So that's why we've kept making movies to this day, really. And that's it.
Since you wrote some of the stuff, do you have like a favorite character that you've came up with?
I don't know. That's really hard to say because obviously I like them all. But I think because Paul wrote Book of Monsters, and I kind of only really helped with the story. Thank you. But on How to Kill Monsters, we both co-wrote the movie. But I think all the characters are really good fun. Tinny G, Nick Vince's Tinny G is a fun character just because of the situation that he's in. But I think Jamie's character, Lyndsey's character, is certainly the most complex character because again, I don't want to get into too many spoilers, but obviously we try and frame her as a final girl type character. But then you slowly, over the course of film, find there's a lot more layers to that. We're not trying to be like meta to the point of like, hey, it's a movie, here's the characters. We just tried to make a realistic character who you like get on board with and you root for, who's not just the classic cliche final girl. Because that's always a trap you can fall into when you make like an 80s inspired homage type movie, which this movie is very much an 80s type film. So we just tried to make all the characters fun and interesting and have a lot of like layers to them, like Shrek.
Onions all around.
Cake. How about cake? Cake says layers. Everybody loves cake.
Parfait.
That's great.
Boof, I was looking forward. Oh, this be so much easier if I wasn't colorblind.
Yeah.
I was gonna say nothing, but I got this crick in my neck. But anyway, yeah. Let's see. Trying to think of anything else about not Book of Monsters, How to Kill Monsters, but I think we got a good, tease on that without spoilers.
Yeah.
What else is new? Anything else, or just that for now? Or any others ideas in the works?
Yeah, I mean, I've worked on 2 other films. As I said, one of them was with some great filmmakers from Relic Films UK. I said it's all. I can't say too much about it at the moment.
You can say the genre of the film.
It's just a horror. It's more yeah. It's more drama filled. It's like a drama horror. But yeah, it's a very different role for me. I think that's why I really enjoyed doing it, just because it was very different and kind of different tonally and what it's about. And so that was a lot of fun. And just worked with Bearing 305 Productions on another horror film. And that was great fun to do. So I worked with them just the past weekend. And they were brilliant. And again, great fun. So hopefully both those films hopefully will be out next year. They're both features, so it's been exciting.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be 3 features that doing festivals next year that you're in.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
That would be awesome.
And then we've as Dark Rift Horror, myself and Paul have been working with Nick Vince again on his own personal project called I Am Monsters, which is very similar naming wise.
Well, he mentioned that before, like he did a stage play or something about that.
Yeah, so he did a one-man stage show, like which charts back to like how he became an actor, growing up as a gay man in like the 1970s Britain, which was a pretty tough time to be fair, and then kind of getting into acting and then meeting Clive Barker and working with Clive on Hellraiser, Nightbreed, and it's been fascinating because he's just anytime you talk to Nick, he's just got so many amazing stories of either people he's met or just his own like life is really interesting. So we're working with him to kind of make a feature film version of that, which is a part live recorded stage show and part kind of dramatized version. So it was funny actually. We ended up shooting that when we were shooting How to Kill Monsters, and we reused a lot of the sets because it made sense to do so. Nick's kind of a lot of the scenes in his film will take place in the readjusted police station sets because they're very spooky and creepy. So that's been great fun. And even just this past weekend gone, because we had to do a little pickup scene for How to Kill Monsters with Tinny G, and a scene that involves a gigantic practical tentacle, which is about this thick. So we actually filmed that in the morning, and then the afternoon we did some pickups for Nick's film, I Am Monsters. So that was really fun because we're almost making two films at the same time, both of which are very different movies. So hopefully, I think Nick's going to be editing that for festivals next year. So with any luck, we'll be at film festivals next year with How to Kill Monsters and I Am Monsters. So it's almost like a Monsters double bill.
A monster double feature. There you go.
Yeah.
How to kill him and I am. There we go.
So that would be really fun.
Nice seeing also on your IMDb, Lyndsey, of Zombie Gopolis. I don't know if I said that correctly.
It's the hard word. It's on Blogalypse.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's we filmed that actually back in 2018, I think it was.
Yeah.
So that kind of did the festival run in 2019, I think.
Yeah, it was just before
COVID.
COVID.
Was it 2020? I can't remember. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean those years kind of blend together now, don't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, that it's based off the guys who made that. So there's Miles Watts, Tony Hitwell, and Hannah Bungard. They actually have a web series called Zomblogalypse, and they'd always intended to make a feature film. So I think they started the web series literally like 10 years ago. And then I've obviously made the feature, but it's basically about them who are they're stuck in the zombie apocalypse, and it's been 10 years since the zombie apocalypse started, and they decide to make a movie about their time in the zombie apocalypse. And they have to get a cast and crew together, and they put out a almost like a Kickstarter kind of thing to get people to come and join them. And yeah, it just kind of follows what happens because obviously it just chaos ensues, obviously. But
so
yeah,
I was checking Tubi, and it's actually got your picture for the title. Like,
oh really?
As you look up the side, and it has the description. So yeah, it is on Tubi, Zombie Apocalypse. Because that title sounded so familiar, I was like, "Is that on Tubi?" So I had to check.
Yeah. No, it's so funny. It's really good.
I play a very different character to anything that I've played before. My character's called Lyndsey, and she's the kind of the sweetest person you'll ever meet. She just loves them. She just loves.
So not like you at all.
Yeah.
She had to really dig deep.
Yeah. It's a challenging role, this one. But yeah, she's just so happy to be around them, and she's their biggest fan. And it was again very gory because it's a zombie film.
I'm gonna watch this tonight.
Yeah, it's very very British, very British style. And yeah, the Hannah and Tony and Miles were fantastic to work with. Tony actually worked with us on How to Kill Monsters. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Again, yeah, very silly humor. So yeah, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. But yeah, it was.
Yeah, I seen it said a rom-com with the zombies. Basically, it was what the synopsis was on IMDb. I was like, that sounds interesting. And then when you mentioned the web series, I was like, oh yeah, I think we did talk about the web series before.
Yeah. The web series.
I think that was before the movie on there because I seen it was like one of the top ones on the IMDb.
Yeah. I think it was about 10 years ago they started, but the web series is really really good.
It's worth checking out if you've got some spare time. You just want like some short episodes to watch because I think they're like max 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Really funny, just a group of British people trying to survive in the zombie apocalypse while trying to make like a vlog.
Yeah, they're basically vlogging.
It's the whole thing, as if things are normal. So it's kind of like they go to the supermarket to get some shopping, but there's zombies everywhere and they barely get out alive, and then they just like casually lose a friend to some zombies, and they're like, oh well. The accidents happen.
Yeah, it's life, you know.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, the three of them were great fun to work with. Yeah, they were really great. So it was good fun.
Yeah, I have to definitely check that out. Now you've said that, it reminded me about, because I think I did watch the web series before. I just didn't remember it till you said
that. There's a couple of Aaron Dennis actually, who's in Book of Monsters on this. He's in Zomblogalypse as well.
Yeah.
So you might recognize him.
Yeah, a lot of familiar faces you'll recognize.
Yeah.
Because they're also based in the same city of York that we are. So you'll see like there's a big crossover of cast.
Yeah. It cuts off, but it says, let's see, Joanne Mitchell, Andrew Dunn, Adriana Carroll, and then Lyndsey. When it cuts off, it says Lynn's ...
Yeah, Andrina and Andy
are up on there.
Yeah, Andrina and Andy are in How to Kill Monsters. They're both absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, really funny in the film.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah,
awesome.
Definitely check that out.
Do you have any plans of movies like that you want to start working on next?
I mean, this is the priority right now, really. The idea is, though, that if we can get this kind of like finished early next year, the problem with films is you can edit them quite quickly. So I think we could probably, February time, the film will be finished. The issue is getting it released because you've got to like get distribution, you've got to talk to sales agents, and then they might take it on, but then they're like, okay, we're going to release it in Halloween. So they just sit on it for ages, which is why sometimes you hear about movies like they get done and then you don't hear anything for ages. And then suddenly they're like, oh, it's coming out next month. So it all really depends on whoever we go with sales wise for the film and festivals as well. So the goal is obviously festivals next year, and the kind of horror festivals start around August time and they run through to December. So it'll be out at festivals, and then as soon as we have a distribution deal, I'm anticipating, I'm hopeful for like a Halloween release because I feel like it's set at Halloween. It'd be an ideal time to release the movie. And it's at that point that we can like release it on Blu-ray and send out all the Kickstarter Blu-rays and things, because that's the only thing, you got to kind of wait till it's officially out. It's just kind of part of the process, really. And we had to do the same with Book of Monsters. You got to wait till it's like officially released, then it's like yay. But as I say, if we finish early next year, hopefully we're straight on to making the next one, so that next Halloween we can have another film out. And I think really for us, now that kind of hopefully COVID and everything's behind us, we can get back into a pattern of making a film every year. So kind of every summer we're shooting something. So Paul and I will be meeting very soon to discuss what we're going to make next. We've got like 5 movie ideas that are quite fleshed out. I think all but one of them have monsters in, as you do with practical effects. So yeah, we'll see what happens. It's an exciting time because it's like, okay, what do you want to do? Let's do this. Let's do sci-fi horror. Let's do spaceship with monsters in. The possibilities are really limited to what we can come up with. So yeah, I think it'll be something very different from How to Kill Monsters in terms of its location and setting and everything, but probably a similar tone because we do like the comedy horror. We do like the practical effects. So I think that's something we want to keep going with the next one. So we'll see.
That's good to hear. But that's my partial to that genre, so I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Let's see. I was gonna say I know you're busy doing that and stuff, but just out of curiosity, there are some new horror movies coming out this month. Have you checked out the new Hellraiser or anything yet, or Midnight Club?
No, Midnight Club's on the list, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's on Netflix.
It's excellent. Definitely watch that.
We love Mike Flanagan's stuff. So
Yeah.
we loved Hill House, Bly Manor, and Midnight Mass. I particularly thought was incredible. Like such amazing storytelling. And then we're definitely going to think Halloween Ends is out this Friday. So,
yes.
Yeah, we're definitely going to go see that. We're going to check out Smile when we get a chance because
that was good. I saw that at the drive-in. That was a good one.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we don't have any drive-ins in the UK because the weather's just terrible, so they just don't do them. It's just not a thing.
Ours, we had to go to Dothan, Alabama, drive because there's none here in Tallahassee. That's like the only one there, and then Ocala, which is further away. So it's like, well, those are the only two here in Florida. So it was worth it though. They did a double of that and Jeepers Creepers Reborn, which a lot of people said was terrible. I mean, like I was like, I don't know, I'm gonna see it. Like it wasn't terrible, but some of the CGI I could have done without. But I mean, for what it was okay. Like some people like totally trashed it. But it's worth a watch. But it doesn't have to be at the top of your list, though. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of mixed things, and I really want to see Hellraiser, but it's not out in the UK yet. I think it's going to come out on because we don't have Hulu over here. We just have Disney Plus has all the Hulu stuff on it. So I think it'll be coming to Disney Plus. Like Prey, the Predator movie came to Disney Plus. So
that's good.
Disney Plus for you? Okay.
Yeah, Prey's good.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, it was really good.
I like Prey.
Yeah, I love that. And I think Hellraiser we'll watch when that comes out. And then we just got these unlimited cinema cards for our local cinema, so we can kind of go as much as possible. So we're just gonna we just got back from seeing Don't Worry Darling today, which was really good actually. Really good. And then we're seeing Amsterdam tomorrow. Yeah. We're just like, right, we've got the unlimited cinema card. How many films can we see this month? So we're just going to go and see something every day.
Have you seen Barbarian yet? Or is that
no, again, it's not out in the UK till I think the end of October. Okay. But they showed it at Fright Fest, which we went to, but we annoyingly...
It was on at the same time
as Eatons Campbell.
Yeah.
So we had to go see
to go to that one, yeah.
So, but everyone who went to see it said it was brilliant.
Yeah.
So again, it's just another thing we'll definitely book as soon as it comes.
Yeah. One of the best films we did see at Fright Fest was called Deadstream.
Yes.
And
I just watched that.
It's so good. It was that was my favorite at the festival. It was hilarious. And they showed it at like really late. I think it was on about 11:30 at night. And we were like, do we go? Do we not? We're like, we'll go. And I'm so glad we did. It was so good.
Yeah, I just watched that the other night, and my husband. Normally, I try to not watch horror movies at night because he hates them. But he was watching something else. I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch it because he's got his headphones watching whatever he was watching. So I put it on, and he's like, "Why are you watching that?" I was like, "You got an interview?" I was like, "No, I just felt like I've seen a lot of people talk about it, and it's amazing. It's like it's got just the right amount of comedy. The monster ghosts, I guess you put it." Just look, one of them looked like Gollum. Yes, one of them looks like Gollum, swear to God. And like the ghosts are just like amazing looking.
It's again really good practical effects, really good commitment. And I think, and I went in thinking, oh, it's a streamer, it's going to be like annoying, but it is hilarious.
Within like the first few minutes, you're like, this is brilliant. Like it's just I loved it. It was, definitely my favorite film of the festival.
All right, now another movie to watch when we're done.
Yeah, watch it. It's so good.
I think it's on Shudder, isn't it?
Yeah,
really good. I'm trying to think what else because we've been to like 3 different horror film festivals in the last few months. We saw so many movies.
Yeah.
But I can't. It's trying to think of which ones we saw now because it's just become a blur.
With practical effects, and we saw one called Wolf Manor, which is made by Dominic Brunt.
Yeah.
And the practical effects in that were fantastic.
Yeah, it's like a werewolf movie. The
werewolf costume was really, really good.
That's worth checking out. It's quite funny because it's like they're filming like a Hammer horror style movie with this actor who's kind of like a Christopher Lee, Vincent Price type character who's on like the 6th movie in a he's supposed to be filming like the 6th movie in like a series of movies where he's now gotten so old, like he doesn't care anymore. He just drinks. And then they're shooting this vampire movie, and then a werewolf shows up while they're shooting a vampire movie. And it's really funny. It's like, it's got a bit of an American Werewolf kind of nod to it. But yeah, that was a fun one to check out. And I think that's coming out very soon. That'll be on streaming very soon as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
They have I'm not sure if you can download or not, but they have the Arrow app. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, we've got a Book of Monsters is on Arrow in the UK.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Yeah.
They have which a little promote for next Friday. There's a movie, Two Witches, that Kristen Klebe wrote or directed. I think she did part of it. And then Rebecca Kennedy, who we're going to have on the 21st, she plays in the second half of it. And it's really good. I enjoyed it.
Nice.
And, yeah, there's some, of course, you got your witches, and there's a little bit of gore in it. And some crazy stuff goes on. So.
Oh, cool. We'll have to check that out. Yeah, we've got Arrow, so we'll have to look at that. This is the thing now. It's like we're spoiled as horror fans because we've got Shudder, Arrow, you got Screenbox coming. It's not in the UK yet, Screenbox, but I've heard they're trying to get it over here. So like, there's just so much choice.
Yeah,
can never watch enough because like we go on Prime and like we're like, okay, what should we watch? And it's just you spend most of your time just looking what to watch.
Right. Yeah, I know. I've had Shudder since like 2018, and because that's when Joe Bob first came on there, and that's why I got it. And I've just never canceled it. I've had it ever since.
Yeah. See, that's another annoying thing about being in the UK is with Joe Bob's Drive-In on the Shudder UK, they don't have the rights to show all the movies.
Yeah.
So sometimes he'll do the introduction and then it just cuts back to him and like we don't get the film. So it's just like it doesn't even give you a warning, it just doesn't happen. Right. So you have to like get the DVD out and like watch it and then go back to Joe Bob. But he's great. He's so funny. Yeah. He's just you could just listen to him and fall asleep, listen to his voice.
Yes.
Great.
He just needs to do like an audiobook on horror movies. Like
yeah.
I kind of have it. Well, they have the just Joe Bob selection on Shudder where you don't even watch the movie. They just play what he said about the movies, like from past things, like in case a movie leaves, or if you don't want to watch the whole movie, you just want to hear his take on it.
Yeah.
Just watch the
Oh yeah, there is that section there. Yep.
Yeah.
That is great.
They did have, I read, they're going to have like I forget who wrote it, but they did like the Shape book, and they're going to be doing one on Chucky, on all 7 Chucky movies. Nice. And then it's going to have like more behind the scenes stuff in it, more interviews. And it's going to have the full, whatever the whole Chucky, give me the power, I beg of you, the whole Dumbledore, yeah, Umbrella, Dumbella, whatever it is. Yeah. But someone, they were joking when they were writing the article, was saying it's going to be an audiobook, and they're like, yeah, someone's actually going to get to read the whole So, but yeah, it's only on the 7 movies. It won't have the TV show in it, but that's good. They started the 2nd season. They just had, I forget if it's tonight or tomorrow, they'll have the 2nd episode. They had the first one last week. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. I remember seeing this started, and when I went to check the Peacock app, I didn't see the episode yet. I was like, well, maybe I misunderstood when it started, so I haven't watched it yet.
Nice. Yeah, we really enjoyed season 1, so we're gonna have to watch season 2. I don't know if it's out in the UK yet. We're always behind. So
probably not.
It'll be there someday.
That's one thing that sucks about the rights, because different countries have different like movie rights and whatnot. So not everybody's on there, because I know sometime this month Barbarian's coming to
digital
HBO Max.
Well, they're supposed to be putting is it Max or one of them?
I'm pretty sure it's HBO Max. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
Just say, all I read was it's coming to streaming like before Halloween or something, like within the next.
I just shared it, so I will look on my thing.
Yeah, I heard that was great. I'm looking forward to seeing that. So.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. There's just so much stuff out at the moment that we need to catch, because we were going to do that kind of 31 days of Halloween thing and try and watch a movie a day, but we've been so busy with editing the film and the Kickstarter and things. It's like I don't really have time to do it.
Yeah.
So we're slowly chipping away. There's a lot of TV to watch as well, like with House of Dragon and Lord of the Rings.
Oh, that's really good. I'm all caught up with that.
Yeah, so
Do you
good,
have
right?
to watch Game of Thrones to understand it? Is my
No.
question.
Not really. No, it's just the family years back. Yeah.
Because I want to watch it because Matt Smith is in it. I absolutely adore him.
He's so good in it as well. Like he's
That's
good
what
in
I've
everything.
heard.
Yeah, it's worth watching because it's set like 300 years before Game of Thrones, so you can totally watch it. No characters appear in Game of Thrones, so
Okay,
yeah,
because I
Yeah,
haven't
they're all
seen
dead.
zero.
yeah.
I have seen zero of
spoiler
Game of
alert.
Thrones.
I think it's a really good kind of way to get into Game of Thrones by watching this because it's a prequel. So you'll probably benefit watching it first because I think in Game of Thrones they talk about these characters
The king
as if they're like history. So like you actually, if you watch Game of Thrones now, it will ruin the plot of this. So
Yeah,
watch
that's
this
true.
first. Yeah.
And I got the article. Barbarian will be on HBO Max October 25th. Now, I don't know if that includes UK or anything like that, but for here anyway, it will be on October 25th on HBO Max.
No, we get Sky,
Sky
which
Atlantic,
is
doesn't
HBO.
always, it doesn't always show everything, which is annoying.
One day we just have to move to America.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah, we always say TV in America is so much better.
Yeah, whenever
Let me
we
guess,
stay
you
in
want
America,
to move to Orlando, right?
yeah, well, exactly.
Absolutely.
But whenever we get to the hotel, like whenever we've been to like Disney and stuff, like we spend too long like watching TV, like because Lyndsey loves like Ghost Hunters and things like that, and like it's quite hard to find that over here regularly.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that
She
would
just
suck.
watches all that. There's so many channels with like cool reality stuff that we don't have here.
Yeah. There's so many reality shows.
I love the Ghost Hunters. I would hate to not be able to have the chance to watch them.
Yeah, we do. It'll show up on some random channel in the UK, but it's probably like a really old season.
Yeah,
they don't have like a dedicated channel like they do in the States, where it's like, yes, just like,
we're in season 20. You get to see an episode from season 2. Like,
yeah.
What's this? Oh, it's a new episode. No, it's not.
No, it's like 12 years old.
we got addicted to a program called was it A Haunting?
A Haunting, yeah.
Which was like a ghost. It was like they did reconstructions and they interviewed the real people. Well, there was a really funny episode where it was set in a pub in Liverpool in the UK.
Newcastle.
Oh, Newcastle.
Yeah.
But obviously it's all Americans playing people from Newcastle, and British accents I'm sure all sound the same to Americans, but like everyone in the UK from a different city sounds so different. And they were all like, I think when Americans do British accents, they're all like, hello there, whoa, tip-to-do, I'm a posh person. And they were all like that, but Newcastle's closer to like the north of England, so it's like Game of Thrones, Jon Snow accent. Like, it was so funny to watch because we were like, they don't sound British at all.
And we saw an episode of The Haunting, when we were in Disney, and we literally got home and we were like, we need to download the entire series.
What I like is usually if they have like a British actor like plays a role for like an American movie, they'll make him Southern.
Yeah,
like Rick Grimes, like Walking Dead, Rick Grimes. Who else is there? Maggie. I can't remember her real name. And there were a few other actors. I think Lenny. I think he was Southern as well.
I'm doing stuff. Thanks.
Yeah.
But yeah, they usually make them Southern.
I think it's an easier accent for British people to do.
Probably.
So you haven't played an American yet, have you?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Well, this is your audition. Play American. Go.
Well, it wasn't even being like America. There's different like accents as well.
Yeah.
Like the South has different accents than the North, and it just kind of like levels. Like there's a Midwest accent, there's a Southern accent, there's a Northern accent. Like when we first moved to Wisconsin, it was like, you even know we're like on the border of Illinois. A lot of people sound like they're from Canada.
I say that all the time, Canada.
You'll hear the boat thing a lot.
Oh yeah.
And we're just like in the southern end of Wisconsin, and we hear it like a lot.
I was thinking about. I mean, I know it's wrong, but it's South Park, the Canadians and stuff. Every time they're hands on, I'm not your buddy, pal. Well, I'm not your pal, buddy. They're going around like, that's better.
South Park ruined Canada.
Yeah. Blame Canada. They had an episode, I don't know if you saw it, where they were making fun of Donald Trump, but as the Canadian, and all the Canadians are coming to America, and they're like, yeah, at first we thought it was funny, and then he ended up winning.
Yeah.
And they all came to South Park. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, nobody's safe though in South Park, no matter what religion, race, where you're from, doesn't matter. You're a target regardless.
Yeah,
Right.
they get everybody.
That's one thing I like about South Park. They don't play favorites.
No.
Did you watch the
You gotta poke fun of everything.
how they did the streaming wars, and they actually
with the water and everything. Yeah, we finally again. It's another thing. We finally got Paramount Plus over here, so like I can finally watch that. So yeah, I've been watching the South Park specials and stuff
the
like
new
that.
Beavis and Butthead. Have you checked the new ones out?
No, I've not seen it yet. It looks good. I've heard good things, and I mean, I'm a big Trekkie, so I've got it for Star Trek.
Yeah.
My husband is too. He's watching all. I think he's watching Lower Decks right now.
Yeah, that's good. I love that.
I don't get it. They make fun of me because sometimes I'll mess up. Well, a lot of times I mess up and say Star Trek instead of Star Trek, or however it's pronounced. But I usually just not thinking I'll say Star Trek, and my son and husband both get after me about it and laugh at me.
It's not. They don't run on a track. They don't run on a track. It's not like a train track.
Yeah, that's basically what they go on about. I was like, I don't know. I don't watch this stuff.
Oh boy. Big Bang Theory, Sheldon. Oh my god, whenever William Shatner was on there and Leonard.
I've never watched Big Bang Theory.
Oh, it's such a funny show. I mean,
it's just never appealed to us, has it?
No.
It's one of those things but then we never watched The American Office for like
the
years.
time.
Because obviously, being British, we're like, it can never be as good as the original. And then we watched it, and it's like completely different. So we loved it. It's so funny.
We recently watched it for the second time round. We were like, let's just watch it all again. It's so good.
So maybe one day we'll watch Big Bang Theory. We're saving it.
Speaking of that, make fun of. Do you remember Rewind Firefly?
I love Firefly. Yeah.
Well, there's a joke in the one like when Sheldon met and he was trying to find a roommate, and he has like his contract, and he goes, every Friday we watch Firefly. He's like, we have to decide on that now? Oh, it'll run for years. Like, oh, it did not
run for 14 episodes.
Such a shame. It was a great show.
It was good.
You're echoing, Steve.
Hello? Oh, I don't know.
Sounds okay to me.
Oh, really? Maybe it's my end.
I think it's you echoing.
Okay, I'll pop out and come right back.
Yeah, Firefly was great. I loved that. That and Buffy was good as well.
Yeah. So, I miss Buffy. Yeah, I wish they would have done one more season after that, just to, with other Slayers or something.
Yeah, they did quite a good comic book run with like afterwards. I got like I think they call it like season 8, and it's like what happens afterwards.
Yeah,
that was quite good. But another time, the 90s was a golden age of 90s, early 2000s, good age of television. Like Stargate was still on and things like that. It was some good stuff.
Yeah, my son's taking a sci-fi fantasy course at the high school, and his teacher didn't even know about Stargate. He introduced her to Stargate.
It was a movie first with Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
And then
How do you know? How's someone taking that, delivering that class, not know about Stargate?
Yeah, she didn't know anything about Stargate, and he was telling her. And when we went to meet the teacher, he was telling her because she was asking, what things he's interested in, and he started saying about Stargate because a lot of us we've all watched Stargate here. So he was telling her all about it, and she never heard of it. And I was like,
fail, you shouldn't be teaching the course if you don't or even if you didn't watch the show, you at least know the movie.
She didn't know the movie or the show. None of it.
I hope they bring it back. There's been talk for ages of them like doing a revival. So yeah, that would be great because I'm obsessed with Stargate.
Yeah.
Did you see
You've never seen it, have you?
No.
That was a good show. I really enjoyed it. Yeah. What was it? Did you see that they redid? Or well, it's actually not a remake. The Quantum Leap.
Yeah. It's like Searching for Sam, isn't it, or something?
No, they mentioned him and Al, like a continuation. Like he was lost. And, well, of course, they never found him. The original Quantum Leap. So no spoiler there, but they like mention him, but they want to like try to find him, but then something else happens, and it has Al's daughter is in it, and so
okay.
Yeah, we've been watching it. It's pretty decent.
Yeah.
And it has what's his name from Ghostbusters? Oh shit.
The original or the new
The original. Oh, I think he's in the
Ernie
new
Hudson.
Ernie Hudson. Thank you. He's in it. Oh, they give him his name's Magic in the movie. I think that was the greatest thing ever. But I can't remember what the other actor's name is. But yeah, Ernie Hudson is in it. He's like the director or something
of the program. Yeah. So yeah, he's doesn't really know what's going on. He's sort of remembering what's going. Like Sam, I guess in the original, like didn't know at first. Like it was like a side effect, but they find something out and they don't know why he did that. He didn't tell them, and that's why he's leaving. And I'll leave it at that. But yeah.
Oh, well, we'll see that when it comes on UK TV in about 3 years.
Again, once the series ends here, you'll be able to watch the first.
Yeah. I mean, that's the one benefit. We can just catch up in one go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen I'm assuming it was the first season. I've seen an article about it, but I didn't really read it. I think it was the first season was getting extended by 6 episodes. If I remember correctly, I might have that a little wrong. Okay. I just remember seeing some article about it, so I might have it a little wrong. It's getting extended by 6 episodes. It's either this season or maybe next.
Worth checking out then, yeah. Have a look.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff is out. It's hard to keep up with everything. It's just so much.
Right.
There is a lot of content out there.
Now I've been revisiting the Psych TV show. I don't know if you've ever heard of, seen that.
No, I never
Absolutely love it. I started watching it, and my husband started watching it. He's like, "Didn't know you liked this." I was like, "Yeah, I used to watch this all the time." It's like it has like 8 seasons and 3 movies.
3 movies,
it's hilarious.
Wow.
Basically,
I was just going to say, if you have Peacock, I don't know if it's UK, but I know it's on Peacock.
Okay. Yeah, we just got Peacock as well. It's on Sky TV, I think, in America. Yeah.
It's weird though. Again, we probably don't get everything. We'll just get
like parts of stuff. Yeah. But basically, he has a photographic memory, and his dad's a cop, and he's like makes him like study his surroundings and remember everything. And so he does that as a trick. He's really observant, and he pretends to have visions, even though he just like spots stuff. And so
he pretends to be a psychic, even though he's not.
So he opens up a detective agency. He saw psych. He's like, "You called your psychic invention psych?" He's like, "Yeah, it's a pun, a name within a name." There,
it's hilarious. Like his best friend drives a blue car, and it's small, so they call it the Blueberry. It's so funny. If you like comedies, you'd probably like it. It's really funny. And there's a lot of like pop culture references and movie references and stuff in it. And there's a pineapple in almost every episode. It's almost like a game to find the pineapple. Because they're hidden sometimes. You don't always find it. So
it was like, I think even a convention episode too, when they dressed up. And so, yeah.
So if you ever come across that and you like comedies.
Oh, now I remember. It was George Takei was in it. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah.
Like working for him. And yeah.
Nice.
So there you go. You get your Star Trek reference. And
yeah, got to get a bit of Star Trek in every TV show.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Anything else?
I don't know, really. No.
We've gone over an hour and a half. I mean, it's been fun. I mean, of course, whatever, we can just chill, but I think I don't really have anything else right now.
No, that's cool. I mean, yeah, we better get back to work. I've got a film to edit.
Well, besides you editing, I'm like, did you guys already have dinner, or what time is it there?
No, we need to have dinner still. So yeah, we should probably head off soon. But as always, it's a blast to chat to you guys. It's always good fun to catch up.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, when it comes out, I'm sure you come back again. We'll talk about it more. And
I hope so. Yeah, once we get it done and we can kind of announce festivals and things, that will be fun. to kind of talk about. Yeah, it's always hard at this stage to talk about something that you can't give too much away.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like one level, and then it's like, okay, when the actual trailer comes out for the full movie, we can talk more about it. So hopefully, maybe when that happens, we can have another chat. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, and I guess we'll put the links, of course, to your Facebook. And do you have Instagram too? You want to share, or just the Facebook?
Yeah, we got. Let me find it. Do you want me to put it in the chat?
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
want to
that's
put it in the private chat there, or so let you put it in the chat yourself.
Yeah, I can put it in the public chat if you want. Yeah.
If it'll let you. If
If it
not,
lets
put it
you,
in private, and then I could copy it and put it in there.
Let me have a look.
You might be able to comment, because I mean, like, you can read the comments. I don't know.
Right.
Oh no, I can't leave a comment. Private chat. I'll put it in the private chat.
Okay, yeah, and then we'll share it from there.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome. Yeah. I'll just put our Dark Rift Horror like Facebook and Instagram and things on there.
Yeah, the Dark Rift.
There we go. And then I think, Lyndsey, you're pretty easy to find because you're just all one word, Lyndsey Craine.
Yeah.
And I'm all one word, Stewart Sparke.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if you go on the Dark Rift Horror Instagram and things, we'll have been tagged in each thing. And
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, she's got that in the chat there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Peggy.
Thanks, Peggy.
Oh, you read that? Okay, I was gonna be like, oh, because
I
you
saw it. Yeah.
Oh, rather than. So yeah, she's got all the chats going there.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my room's a bit of a mess today.
Oh, you're
we're
fine.
clearing.
Kind
We're
of
clearing.
sorts out of the house.
Yeah, we're doing a classic kind of winter. We need to tidy and move things into the attic.
That's just why I have the skeletons up. You can't see my room.
I would have done that if I could have figured out how to do that. I would have done that totally. You just got a mountain of DVDs behind us.
Yeah.
Dude, I got so many DVDs. I got to restart my Wild Eye movies, and then I got the horror pack, which is 4 movies every month, and they do limited editions of movies. I think they're up to like 78 or 79 now. I got all of those, and so yeah, it's just movies everywhere.
I just got the white wall, but I got the lights on because it started storming like a half hour ago. So it's like, looks like it's nighttime here, and even though it is almost 2:00 in the afternoon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's almost 3 here, but
well, hopefully it doesn't get too bad.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, especially when I gotta leave here in about.
it's like,
45
isn't that
minutes
usually
or
like
so.
storm time, like afternoon times? Like that's usually when it
It'll
storms.
storm
Like
whenever.
Yeah.
But my dog's deathly afraid of thunder, so it's gonna be fun getting her a car if it's thundering out.
Yeah.
At least she's small enough I could probably pick her up and carry her if I need to.
Oh yeah, you gotta take her to the vet. That's right. Yeah,
You gotta put earmuffs on or something.
Right. I bought her a thunder jacket and everything, and it don't help.
Oh, no.
I was gonna say, just get her a doggy raincoat and everything, boots, and put it on.
And the thunder jackets are supposed to like keep them like feel like they're being comforted and supposed to help them with their fears, but it doesn't help her. She just likes to go hang out in the basement.
Oh.
I don't want to go dig her around. There's no way I'll be able to pick her up and carry her up from the basement. 'Cause with my bum leg, I'll end up falling downstairs.
Oh no! Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
It's like, better close the door so she doesn't run down.
Yeah.
Right.
Alrighty then. Well, enjoy your dinner and editing
Thank
the rest of the
you.
movie, and definitely check out the Midnight Club too. You'll be hooked on that.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Maybe we'll have that watch the first episode while we have dinner.
Yeah.
Nice, guys. All right. Well, thank you so much
Thank
again.
you.
All right. Have a good night. We'll see you soon.
See you guys soon.
later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Great.
Yes, I can't wait for How to Kill Monsters. That's gonna be awesome.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat some leftover Chinese that I got. Got some
And I'm
general-
going to scrounge up something for a late lunch before I got to go. Not sure what.
Alrighty then. So yeah, we'll be back Saturday, and then next Friday, the 21st, Rebecca Kennedy, from the new 2 Witches that's out, Criminal Minds, Station 19, bunch of stuff there. So, all right, we'll see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.